What you eat affects your body a lot more than most people realise. Now, because this is a course on back pain, not nutrition, we're going to keep it simple and focus on one key thing, and that's bringing down inflammation. You see, the more inflammation that's in your body, the more pain you're going to feel. Now, this is also especially true if you have any other health issues like digestive issues like IBS, bloating, you feel tired a lot, or if you've had general aches and pains as well, like your joints generally hurt. That's a really good sign that something you're eating is not agreeing with you. But I'm going to show you how to identify those foods and what to do about it. Put quite simply, some foods cause more inflammation throughout the body, and other foods reduce the inflammation. So the ones that cause inflammation are usually the ones you've heard of, like sugar is the obvious one. Sugar really is pro-inflammatory, meaning it causes a lot of inflammation. Alcohol is another one, but a lot of people don't realize that grain-based products like bread and pasta can be very inflammatory for some people. And they're often foods that people eat every day and just consider a normal part of an everyday diet. But that could be a significant factor in why you're not getting better if you find that you're often in pain, and also if you find that you have bloating or you feel tired after a meal. Again, that's a good indication that your body doesn't like those things. The foods that reduce inflammation are basically vegetables. Vegetables plus healthy oils like avocados and olive oil down there. We're going to go into some of these in a bit more detail, but as a general rule, you want to be eating more of the ones on the right and less of the ones on the left. Some foods cause inflammation in everybody, like sugar or alcohol, for example. But other foods can affect some people a lot more than others, particularly if you have a food sensitivity towards something. That can be in the form of an allergy, which is an immune reaction, or an intolerance. Now, an allergy, if you have a food allergy, you normally know about it because the symptoms can often be quite severe. For example, a nut allergy can actually be quite life-threatening. But a food intolerance can be more subtle, so often people don't realize they have it. They just think what they're eating is a normal everyday diet, and they don't link that to the fact that they're often in pain, or they feel tired all the time, or they have IBS or digestive issues, or they feel bloated, that kind of thing. The most common food sensitivity foods are wheat, or particularly gluten in wheat, and milk, particularly lactose, which is a sugar in milk, but also food additives like artificial sweeteners and certain colorings. Some people also have an intolerance towards eggs and citrus fruits like oranges, lemons and limes, for example. And interestingly, some people with rheumatoid arthritis and other inflammatory disorders are intolerant towards the nightshade group. So these fruits and vegetables are tomatoes, peppers and potatoes. Again, the kind of foods that a lot of people consider to be normal everyday foods, and they possibly do have every day. The problem with these kind of foods, especially bread and pasta and milk, is that we're conditioned through marketing and advertising to believe that this is a normal human food. But a lot of people strongly believe that we shouldn't be eating this stuff at all, and it's not suitable for humans. But a lot of people eat toast for breakfast and don't even think about it, or cereals swimming in milk like that, for example. If you're eating these kind of foods on a regular basis and you have chronic ongoing pain, it's definitely worth looking at whether or not what you're eating is affecting the pain levels. Eliminating a certain food from your diet might make a big difference to how you feel. I'm not saying it's going to fix your back completely, but it could make a huge difference to how much pain you feel on a day-to-day basis and how quickly you get better. Now, the best way of finding out if you have a food sensitivity is to pick one. I suggest starting with wheat or milk, probably wheat for most people, and test it with an elimination diet. And what that means, we'll go into it in a minute, but what it means basically is don't eat that for a week or so and see if you feel any better. But if you're going to cut a certain food out completely, you really do need to read the labels on jars of sauces, for example, because often there'll be milk powder or wheat flour in there in foods that you wouldn't expect them to be. So if you want to find out if a certain food is doing you harm, then the easiest way to do it is with an elimination diet. And it's very simple. You just pick one food and cut it out entirely. Now, entirely does mean entirely. So, for example, the first thing I'd recommend for people to try is cutting out wheat products. That doesn't just mean going gluten-free. It means all wheat products, no bread, no pasta, nothing. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, I'll only have a sandwich at lunch, or I'll only have one slice of toast for breakfast. It means zero bread, which also means, as I said before, looking in the ingredients list to see if there's any wheat flour in processed foods as well. But when you pay attention to that, cut it out entirely for 1 week or up to 2 weeks, depending how you do. But usually within 1 week, you'll notice a significant difference if it's a food you're sensitive to, possibly just within 1 day, actually. But after a week or two, just ask yourself how you feel. Do you have more energy, less pain? Do you feel less bloated? Do you feel sharper? Is your memory better? All of these things are a sign of too much inflammation in the body. And then reintroduce it. Put it back in your diet. Usually best to do it a little bit at a time. Don't go too much in one go, but reintroduce it. Start eating, for example, bread again, a couple of slices a day. And again, just see how you feel. If all of a sudden you start feeling rubbish again, or you start having more pain, or your back starts hurting again, then that's a pretty good indication that that food is not suitable for you. And you'd be much better off just cutting it out of your diet. Now, we all know that vegetables are good for us, but there's some foods that get special status as superfoods, and that's because they contain so many nutrients or have such a powerful effect on the body. So looking from the top left there, beetroot. Any food with a deep red or deep intense colour has a lot of nutrients in generally. Beetroot's absolutely no exception there. But it's also really good at detoxifying the body. It helps your liver to cleanse the body of toxins. And accumulated toxins can contribute towards muscle aches and pains. In fact, they've done a scientific study where they gave people who exercise 250 mils of beetroot juice to drink once a day for 3 days, and they found that their muscle soreness went away much quicker and they recovered from exercise better. So if you find that you just generally have a lot of aches and pains in various muscles, perhaps try some beetroot juice in your diet, or just add a few beetroots to your salad. Broccoli is one of the best foods out there. Seriously, it even kills cancer cells in laboratory conditions. It's my absolute favorite food. It's so good for you that just eating broccoli once or twice a week can make a massive difference to your overall health and give your body the nutrients it really needs to help to heal and repair faster. Blueberries have a lot of nutrients in them, but especially good for vitamin C. And they're also lower in sugar than a lot of other fruits, so they're good as a snack or to have with your breakfast. Onions help to increase something in your blood called glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant that helps all the other antioxidants like vitamin C to work properly, and it detoxifies your body, again getting rid of toxins. The more glutathione you have, the healthier you are overall. And garlic is good for you in so many ways. It's antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial, and even antiviral. It kills all sorts of nasty stuff. So adding a bit more garlic to your diet can make a huge difference to your overall health. And turmeric there in the orange. Turmeric has received a lot of press recently and now has thousands of scientific papers written about it because of its anti-inflammatory properties, or more specifically curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. So you can have turmeric raw, mixed in with food, or you can take it in capsule form. Now, I know you've heard it before, but honestly, it's true. Drink more water because it's good for you. 6 glasses of water minimum every day is essential if you want your body to heal better and feel better fast. It flushes out toxins from your sore muscles, lubricates the joints in your spine and your hips and everywhere else, and helps hundreds of different chemical reactions throughout your body to work properly. Your body cannot work properly without enough water. If you don't like the taste of it, then get a water filter or add something like juice or a bit of squash or a slice of lemon in there just to make it a bit more palatable. But I've heard a lot of people say, oh, water's boring. I don't like it because it's boring. Well, it's not supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to hydrate you. So think of it as fuel. You don't put orange juice into your car because you don't like the smell of petrol. You put petrol in your car because that's what it needs. So same with water. Get some more water down you. It's a really easy place to start, but it'll make your body work a whole lot better. If you don't know where to start, just take a look at this list and pick one thing that looks fairly easy and try it today. And then do that for a week and then pick something else. For example, you might start eating vegetables every day if you're not doing that already. Or pick one of the superfoods or 2 or 3 of them from the list and start adding them to your diet. Cut out sugar and processed foods because that's really the easiest way to reduce the inflammation in your body. If you want to try the elimination diet, I suggest just start with wheat, so that's bread and pasta, or perhaps milk, and just cut it out entirely for 1 week, reintroduce it, and see how you feel. If you're not already, start drinking 6 glasses of water each day. It's a very easy place to start that'll make you feel better very quickly. If you drink alcohol, try to reduce the number of days that you drink by 1 or 2, and buy better quality alcohol, because quite often it's the additives in cheap alcohol that actually make you feel rubbish and increase the inflammation in your body. And number 7, I haven't mentioned this before, but it's important. A lot of people don't eat enough protein. Protein's the building blocks that your body uses to build more tissue and repair itself with. Protein's found in meat, fish, dairy products, nuts, tofu, and things like that. If you're a man, you want to be eating about 100 grams of protein a day. If you're a woman, slightly less. But if you're exercising and training hard, then you probably need even more than that. And after you've tried a few of these, or maybe all of them, give it a few weeks for it to really make a difference. Something like a food intolerance, you'll see the difference within a couple of days, but everything else, you need to give it a bit of time. Just like everything else in this course, give it 6 to 12 weeks to really make a big impact on your body. Also, like everything else in this course, it's about building good habits that'll last you a lifetime. Because if you do all of these things, or even most of them, it'll generally reduce a lot of inflammation in your body, which will improve your general health as well as helping you get over back pain much quicker.